Alright, this is page 4 of the midterm, and we are at number 11. If you want pages 1, 2, 3, you just have to look for the video. Alright, so there's a couple ways you can solve A. You're solving the system. One way is by substitution. So that's the way I'm going to use first. And then at the end of the video I'll come back and solve this by matrices if you want to. But I am going to do through all of them. I'll do substitution, linear combination, and then matrices. And then I'll go at the end of the video, I'll do the matrices if you want to see it. So just have to get to the end. Alright, so here we go. See how I have C and A in here? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in C and A, and so this equation will all be for in terms of B. So we have 3, and now instead of C, I'm going to put in B plus 11. And then minus 8A, but I'm going to have a 4B, and that equals 4. So then I'm going to distribute. So I have 3B plus 33 minus 8 times 4 is 32B is equal to 4. Combine like terms. Combining like terms, I have my 3B and a negative 32B. So I have, how many B's do I get? Negative 29B plus 33 is equal to 4. So now what's my first step? What's my next step? I'm going to subtract my 33, and I have negative 29B is equal to negative 29. So now to get B by itself, I divide by negative 29. And so B equals 1. Now that I have B equals 1, I'm going to come back up here and it says A equals 4B. So how can I figure out what A is? Substitute the B in. Right, so I'm going to substitute 1 in for B. So that means that I have 4 times my 1, and that gives me 4. So that means A equals 4. And then C says that C equals B plus 11. So B is 1, so that means it's 1 plus 11. So that means that C is 12. So that means that, just so you get A equals 4, B equaled 1, and C equaled 12. Alright. Now, B, if I were taking the test, I would use matrices on it. But because I know that all of you do not have matrices, I'm going to show you the linear combination way. And remember, when you use linear combination, you want one of your x's or y's to drop out. So if I were to multiply the top, I want to multiply something, and I'm going to get rid of my y's. Alright, because one's positive, one's negative already. So I'm choosing to get rid of my y's. I could get rid of my x's, but I'm going to get rid of my y's. So what can I multiply the top, and then I'm going to multiply the bottom by a number also. So what number could I multiply it by? I know that you can also multiply, you can figure out a way to multiply just the top one, or the bottom one. Alright, so I'm going to multiply the bottom by a 1.5. So right here we have multiplying it through. So I'm going to bring this down, negative 3x plus 3y equals 2. And I'm going to multiply the bottom by a 1.5. And how I got that, just so you know, is I took 3 and I divided it by 2. So I know now that when I multiply 2 times my 1.5, I'm going to get 3. So I'm going to multiply the bottom by 1.5. So I have 4 times my 1.5 gives me a negative 6 because it was negative 4 and I didn't put that in. And then I have a negative 2 times my 1.5, and that's a negative 3. And then I have 3 times my 1.5, and that's a 4.5. So I'm simply taking that number and multiplying it through. Linear combination then tells me to add down, so my y's are gone. And then I have negative 3 times negative 6 is negative 9x is equal to 4.5 plus 2 is 6.5. Alright, and divide by my negative 9. So I have 6.5 divided by a negative 9. Alright, x is equal to a negative 0.72 repeating. So I'm actually going to put that in as a fraction. So I'm going to go math fraction to see what that is, which is negative 13 over 18. So that I don't round right away. Alright, so now I have to find out what y is. I have to put in my x for one of these two. So I'm going to put in my x on the bottom one. You could do the top one, but I'm going to put it in the bottom. So I have negative 4 times my x, which is negative 13 over 18, minus 2y is equal to a 3. So I have here negative 4 times negative 13 divided by 18, and I want to find what fraction that is. It is 26/9 minus 2y is equal to 3. Now the reason why I keep finding out the fraction is because if we keep rounding, it's not going to give us the right number. So you don't want to round into the very end. So I'm going to subtract 26 divided by 9. So I'm going to 26/9 on the other side. So I have negative 2y is equal to, again, 3 minus, and then we have 26 divided by 9, and math fraction is 1/9. And then I'm going to divide that by a negative 2. So I'm going to go answer divided by negative 2, and I'm going math fraction. So I have y is equal to a negative 1/18. Now I can do this out and I can show you the steps to do this, but if you want to see the steps on the fraction, make sure you email me and I will be glad to put that. Alright, so now, our answers were x is negative 13 over 18 and my y is negative 1 over 18. Number C, or letter C, it says to solve using matrices. Well, so let's find what the left side looks like. So you bring down your 2, your 6, your negative 9, negative 1. So I'm just bringing the coefficients. So whether you have a graphing calculator or not, make sure you know how to do this, because it will be on the test, and even if you don't have the graphing calculator, you will be able to answer this question if you know how to set it up. 14 and 42. So that's just simply setting it up. And then you have to take the inverse. So we're going to put the inverse, it always goes A inverse, and this is my A, and then over here is A inverse B. So just so you know, you always have your inverse on the left hand side. So this is just going to be 2, 6, negative 9, negative 1, inverse. And so I'm putting that inverse over here, 2, 6, negative 9, negative 1, inverse, because that's what we were going to multiply it by, right? So I'm going to put this in A, and then take its inverse, and this in B. So I'm going to clear this out. Clear that out, and we are going to go and say second matrix, which is edit, and I'm going to edit A, which is a 2 by 2, 2 by 2, and I have 2, -9, 6, -1. And B, so I go second matrix, B, so I go to edit and go to B, and that is a 2 by 1, and so I have 14 and 42. Alright, so I go second quit. Now I want to pull up matrix A. So how can I pull up matrix A? So I go second, and I'll push this up so you can see it. So second matrix A, inverse, and then I go second matrix B, so it's a 2, and that gives me the answer. So I have that equals 7, 0, and so that means that x equals 7 and your y equals 0. So on this side, like if you wanted to know why I didn't do this side, I can show you, but this side right here, we have your A inverse and then A, right? So I have A inverse A. Well, that's the identity matrix, so that side's gone. So that means that it says x equals on that side, and then on this side it's 7, 0. So that's why this is the answer. Alright, let's go to the next one. And also, before I move on too far, make sure you study A. A is a good one to study for that short answer test. Alright. B, or 12 now, I guess we're at 12. Alright, 12. Give the sequence first 4 terms. So they want the first 4 terms. So it says A sub 1. What does A sub 1 mean? The first term. So A sub 1 is 4. So that means the first term is 4. And then how do you find the next term? Well, it says A of 2 is equal to 5 times the previous term. So the previous term was 4, because this, remember, means previous term, plus 1. So we have here, I'm going to clear that out, so that means I have 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21. So the next one is 21. A sub 3 says 5 times the previous term, so we just did the previous term is 21, plus 1. So I do, in the calculator, 5 times 21 plus 1. So it's 106. So my fourth term and final term, fourth term, is 5 times the previous term, 106, plus 1. So I'm going to go and say, clear that out. So I have 5 times 106 plus 1, 531. Alright, number 13. So now it says to give the first 4 terms here. So now this was a recursive formula because it recurs more than once. That means that there's at least two steps to get a recursive. You need the previous term to get the recursive. Now this one is explicit. That means I could get the 50th term simply by putting in a 50 there. So the first 4 terms would be A1 is equal to 340 plus, and now my n is 1 because it's my first term, minus 1 times 2. So I have 1 minus 1 is 0 times my 2. So it's times 2, so that's 0. So my first term is 340. a sub 2. A sub 2 is 340 plus my 2, because it's a second term, minus 1 times 2. So I have 340 plus, we have, and if you want, you can do it out in your calculator, 2 minus 1 and times 2. So my next number is 342. The third term, a sub 3, is equal to 340 plus the third term minus 1 times 2. So again, we have 340 plus 3 minus 1 is 2, and so that would be 2 times 2, which is 4. So you could just say that it would be 344. But if you want to do it out in your calculator, again, you can. So you have 3 minus 1 times 2 is 344. And the last term that it asks for, a sub 4, is equal to 340 plus the 4 minus 1 times 2. So we have 340 plus my parentheses 4 minus 1, 2. And that equals 346. So my first term was 340, my second term is 342, third term is 344, my third term is 346. Alright, now it says, why or why not? Is the following sequence arithmetic? Remember, arithmetic means that you can add. Arithmetic means add the same number each time to get the next number. So here we have 10 goes to 15 is 5. Then we have 15 to 20, you add another 5. Here we have 20 to 4, or 20 to 24 is only a 4. So I can stop right there and I can say, no, it's not, because the third time you add a 4, not a 5, because you have to be able to add each one the same. Alright. Now it says to write the definition of the parabola. Now you can look up in your book, and if you want to know the definition of the parabola, but remember what you need to know about the definition of a parabola is, if I have a parabola, right, by definition, a point that's not on the parabola, called the focus, to a point that's on the parabola is the same distance. So the distance here that has the same distance from this point to the directrix. So the directrix would be here, and that means that this one is the same distance to here if this is the directrix. And that's what you need to know for the definition. Now it says 16 says sketch y plus 2 is equal to a negative 2 times x minus 1 squared. So hopefully you can tell, because of the square, it's going to be a parabola. It's going to open up or down, and it could be somewhere. So now we got to look to see what the vertex is. Vertex is opposite, so here is the vertex is 1, and then with the y is 2, but it's opposite, so it's negative 2. So my vertex is 1, negative 2. So I have 1, 1, 2, negative 2. So that's my vertex. Looking at A tells me if it opens up or down. Since A equals negative 2, it opens down. If A would equal positive, it would open up. Alright, that's the end of 4, and like I said, I will do A and B on the back of this, and I will do it with matrices. So I'll do A and B with matrices if you want to stick around. If not, page 4 and 5, or page 5, 6, and 7 will go up sometime today or tomorrow morning, and then you'll have all of them. Alright? Alright, well, you guys have a great day, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Alright, if you're with me, I'm gonna flip this paper over and rewrite A. A says A equals 4B, C equals B plus 11, and then 3C minus 8A equals 4. And we're going to solve this system with matrices. Actually, I like solving things with matrices. So remember, what you want to do is you want to line them up, A, B, and C, and then you're going to have the equals and then your answer. That's how we're going to set this up. Alright, so we are bringing them all over. So we have A, and then I'm going to bring this to the other side, so I have minus 4B, and I have no C, but so I'm going to put plus 0C, and that equals 0, because if I bring this to the other side, remember, we have A minus 4B equals 0, right? Now this one, I'm just bringing the B to the other side, but I don't have any A's, so I'm going to have 0A minus 1B, right, or just B, but I'm just going to go minus 1B, and I don't have any, I do have a C, so I have plus 1C is equal to 11. And now on this one, these are already on the other side, I just want to rewrite it. So I'd have negative 8A plus 3C equals 4, right? So those are commutative, so I can move them around. So I have negative 8A plus, I don't have a B, so 0B plus 3C is equal to 4. Now, remember, in matrices, the thing that matters is the right-hand side. So we're looking for A inverse B in our matrices. So A, remember, this is coefficient of a 1, right? So I'm just going to bring down 1, 0, negative 8, negative 4, negative 1, 0, 0, 1, 3. That's my A. But I want A inverse. And B is my answer, so I have 0, 11, 4. Now I'm going to plug that into the calculator. So I have, clearing that out, second matrix, edit. Now I have a 3 by 3. So I have a 3 by 3, and it's 1, negative 4, 0, 0, negative 1, 1, negative 8, 0, 3. Alright, so I've checked it, make sure that's right. It is. So now I go second matrix, and now I'm going to edit B. So I'm going to edit 2. And that is a 3 by 1. And that's 0, 11, and 4. Make sure you always push that enter. So second quit. So I have, now I go A inverse, so matrix A, which is 1, inverse, right there, and then matrix B. And so I have 4, 1, and 12. So that means that A was 4, B is 1, and C is 12. I'm going to check it out, make sure that's what we said on the other side. We said 4, 1, 12, and that's exactly what we just got, 4, 1, 12. Alright, last problem is B, and it says negative 3x plus 3y equals 2, and negative 4x minus 2y equals 3. So again, I'm going to use matrices, and I'm going to show you what all of it looks like, because remember, on your test you'll have to know. So we have negative 3, you have negative 4, Then you have 3 and negative 2. And then we have x, y. And that equals our answer of 2, 3. So then we just put the inverses of this one. So I have negative 3, negative 4, 3, negative 2, inverse. And on the left hand side goes your inverse. Alright, so remember this is your, if you want to see it, that's your identity matrix. Oh, that is 0. And on the, so then we just have x, y, so that's going to equal x, y on this side. And on this side, I'm going to put that into the calculator one last time. So we have matrix, edit, 1, which is a 2 by 2, negative 3, 3, negative 4, and negative 2. And then second matrix for my edit B, so I'm going to hit it 2, and this is a 2 by 1, and I have 2 and 3. And so now I'm going to go second quit. I'm going to pull up my matrix A, because remember it's A inverse B, so matrix A is negative inverse, and then matrix B is 2, and on this one it's decimal, so we can you have this as your decimal, or math fraction. So math fraction gives me a negative 13/18 and a negative 1/18, which is what we had on the front for our x and y. Alright, well, Felipe and I are going shopping now, and I'm going to do some things for the day, so I am done for now. This evening, if I have any more time, I will do 5, 6, and 7, and if not, I'll get up tomorrow morning and put them in then, and then you'll have the rest of it for tomorrow. So study pages 1 through 4, and we'll talk to you soon.